Aloha from Maui. This is Victoria English, head coach at Alcohol Free Lifestyle. I'm sitting on my balcony, staring at the ocean, some beautiful mountains, and I couldn't be happier to be spending this time with you. Today, we're going to talk about vacations, drinking on vacations, not drinking on vacations, and I'm going to invite you to explore a mindset shift, a few mindset shifts on how we view vacation. Let's start with this. What is the vacation definition? It is defined as an extended period of leisure and recreation, especially one spent away from home or in traveling. The definition doesn't include drinking. And so I'm going to invite you to redefine your idea of leisure. When people book that first very brave, very important discovery call with our team, something that we often hear is, well, I know I need to do something about my drinking, but now's not the right time because I have a big vacation. And so whenever I hear that, my question is always often, you know what it's like to drink on vacation. Do you need another drunken vacation? Are you curious about discovering what a vacation might feel like without the alcohol? And of course, they know they don't need another drunken vacation. However, there are some very real hurdles to examine, and that's where we come in. So I'll share with you a little bit about my experience. I have been right where you are. Can I really have fun on a vacation without drinking? I knew a few things. I knew that my vacations didn't really turn out to be that fun as the day progressed, as the vacation progressed. And I still didn't know how to vacation without it. So a vacation used to look like this. I would book the vacation. I would be excited. I would arrive at the destination with all sorts of plans about what it would look like. I would be active every day. I would eat delicious regional food in moderation, of course, because I was active and healthy. That was my identity. It'd been blurred because of alcohol, but that stuff was important to me. I also had visions of connecting with my family, with friends, just like you. I also had visions of vacationing, recharging, relaxing, relieving stress. And then I would get to the airport and my brain would say, well, we're on vacation. That means we need to start the party now. And so I would indulge in a few drinks, either before I boarded the airplane or while I was on it. And so by the time I landed at the destination, well, I wasn't feeling too energized. I was feeling uncomfortable and dehydrated, certainly not in the mood to go on an adventure. And then I would take an Uber or a Lyft to my vacation spot. And instead of getting curious about what was available, you know, gosh, you have yoga on the beach? Ooh, Now that's something the real me would like to do. And I may have, through a blur, thought that sounds really good. Maybe I'll do yoga on the beach tomorrow. But more than likely, I would take them up on that offer of champagne because you guys know how it is, right? There's often a platter of champagne offered or drink vouchers. And I would have the bellman take up my bags and I would sit at the bar and have a few drinks because I was on vacation. And then instead of exploring a regional restaurant, I would usually end up eating at the bar from the menu. It wasn't always bad food, but it wasn't anything special. It wasn't getting out into the environment and tasting something very unique. It was a hotel restaurant. And then at some point, I would put myself to bed, usually with a to-go cup. That was the start of my vacation. Well, what would happen after that? More of the same, except I might do it by a pool. I might go to a restaurant, take an Uber to a restaurant to say that I was doing something different, and I would eat and I would drink. As far as activities, well, sometimes I would definitely do some activities, except it'd be with a hangover. I wasn't making those 8 a.m. yoga classes. I wasn't taking guided tours, especially if they didn't involve spits for turkey. You guys get the picture. Is this sounding familiar so far? I share this because you're not alone and there's nothing wrong with you. This is a solvable issue. Well, then the end of the vacation would come. Oh, and let me interject that there would usually be a few arguments, some disappointments in there. Certainly not if I were vacationing with my kids or my daughter who's at home, I was not enjoying the best moments. And I was engaging, but I was foggy or fuzzy because I wasn't drinking all the time. But even when I wasn't drinking, wasn't feeling great, or I was thinking about when I could drink. And then, of course, I would return home. And how did I feel? Did I feel rested? Did I feel that I'd had that recharging period, that my batteries were ready to go? I was ready to tackle real life again? No. Like many of you, I would say things like, whew, I need a vacation from my vacation. That's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of alcohol. And again, I felt ashamed, but I didn't know any different. I had forgotten what it was like to vacation without drinking. And I'll get to what vacations are like now in a bit. By the way, as I record this, I'm drinking a new flavor of Perrier called Forever Strawberry. I suggest checking it out. It's quite tasty. Fresh. That's not a paid endorsement. I just like it, and I like to share with you guys what is very enjoyable to drink now that. So let's talk about that mental hurdle of I can't start because I have a vacation. Well, I get it. And as you know, as I just shared, and there are a few mental reframes that I invite you to go through with. People will also often say, I can't not drink because everyone is drinking. I understand. It does appear that way. The truth is, as we continue through the drinking cycle, the drinking misuse, our brain becomes wired to believe that everybody drinks. The National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism produced an article about the cycle of alcohol addiction and how we become wired to notice alcohol more and more. And so it's not your fault that you think everybody is drinking. But in reality, when you are seated at a pool and you see everyone with a glass in their hand, a cup, you really are not 100% certain of what's in their cup. So during my trip to Maui, I've taken a sunset cruise, and it was beautiful. And sometimes those are called booze cruises. And so I was observing people's cups. Most people had some sort of colored drink, some had a clear drink. And so if I were still in the cycle of drinking, I could think that everybody there was drinking an alcoholic drink. Except I don't know that for sure. I was drinking club soda with a lime in it, which looks exactly like a vodka soda with a lime in it. A friend that I was with was drinking a club soda with cranberry and lime, which could also look just like a vodka cranberry with lime. Some people had more tropical looking drinks. Maybe they were pina coladas. Maybe they were virgin pina coladas, because when I walked by the bar, I did notice a big bottle of pina colada mix, and it looked yellow. And I guess they add rum to a pina colada. So I didn't know if there was rum in that cup, but if I were in my former mindset of alcohol use disorder, I would have certainly assumed that it was an alcoholic pina colada. And so we can't really be sure, right? Now, there are vacations that you may go on where you're with a group of friends and you are certain that everyone is drinking. I understand how that can be challenging. I can promise you that with the accountability, community, and coaching that you receive in Project 90, you are going to feel empowered enough to drink. Does that mean it's going to be a cakewalk? No, it doesn't. There may be challenging moments because, again, we are wired for these triggers, right? Certain people make us feel like we need a drink. Certain environments make us feel like we want to drink. Those associations are wired into our brain for now, until now. And you'll have support from other members and from coaches as you go through these empowering, if you can believe it, empowering situations. And so, yes, you may be on a vacation where everyone you're with is drinking, and we understand that. We're here for it. I'd like to pose this question. When you were drinking or are drinking with your close circle of friends, do you appear to be comfortable with your drinking? Are you crying as you look at that cocktail, at that glass of wine, or are you happily taking it and enjoying it? Do you wake up the next day with a hangover and go, oh my gosh, I cannot do this anymore. I'm in hell. I've got to stop. I can't take it anymore. I feel awful. My blood panel isn't looking so good. I can't lose this weight. My relationships are suffering. Or do you wake up and kind of commiserate together, laugh it off, and say, woof, I gotta cut it, lay off today, or whew, time for some hair of the dog. So here's my question. can you be certain that everyone around you is happy with their level of drinking? Are you absolutely sure? Or is it possible they're wearing a mask, just like you? I will tell you this, we work with people between the ages of, say, 35 up to 60 something. And their drinking is making them unhappy to varying extents. To the extent that they're saying, you know what, I've had enough. Some are suffering more than others, but everyone in there comes in and they are unhappy with their alcohol consumption, their relationship with alcohol. It is impacting their lives in a negative way. And so, are you sure? Because most people who are in middle age are not happy that they're drinking excessively. They're not. You aren't. So how do you know your friends are okay? How do the people around you look health-wise? Do they look their best? Are they thriving, really thriving? Or is it possible they're wearing a mask? Just things to consider. I don't know you personally, and I don't know your friends. However, I've coached hundreds and hundreds of people during my time here. And more often than not, over time, many people approach our members and say, how did you do it? I wish I could do what you're doing. So let's talk about vacations now, not just for me, of course, our team here at AFL, who have gone without drinking for years, but our members. For me personally, I get to do whatever I want on a vacation now. I get to explore Maui. I'm free to do whatever hike I'd like, or I can sit by the pool and just chill out because that is a necessary part of life as well. I've enjoyed 2 novels. I've been swimming with my daughter. I taught her how to do a backflip. We've been eating delicious regional food. She's tried a few different types of fish. Tried to get her to try a clam. Wouldn't go there with me. And we're having a wonderful time. In fact, I'm 4 hours behind my normal time, and I haven't made an attempt to adjust because I really love waking up super early and walking on the beach. I don't want to wake up at 7 a.m. I like waking up at 4 and enjoying my coffee and the view and nature, meditation, whatever else I want to do, which might, again, be nothing. Our members get to experience the same thing. They join anyway, because guess what? There's always going to be a thing coming up in your schedule. There's always going to be an event, a dinner, a conference, a vacation, a wedding, a reunion. And so they made the choice to say, okay, you know what? What the hell? I'm going in. And they join, even with events on their calendar. And they ask for support. We prepare them, we help them. And the whole community, the whole P90 membership community is with them. And so they're poloing from their vacation. We empower them to get curious. You know, how much time did you spend drinking on your vacation? Oh, this many hours. Okay. What might you enjoy doing? Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to this such and such place. Why don't you go on the website, see what other activities they offer? What's in the area? And so they have a plan going to the trip. They're like, oh man, I'm going to go on that on that scuba thing. I'm gonna go snorkeling. By the way, I'm going snorkeling tomorrow, and there's a boat ride out to where we snorkel. Can you imagine doing that with a hangover? I would have never booked that in the past. And I might take a little bit of ginger because I do have motion sickness. But they have a plan. And then they go and they do it. So not only are they discovering, wow, I can do whatever I want on a vacation, they are also literally rewiring their brain. Because if you've listened to enough of these podcasts, you've heard about the neurotransmitters and how they're messed up from drinking, right? We don't know how to really experience natural highs, natural pleasure when we first stop drinking because our brain has been accustomed to us just dumping dopamine and serotonin through alcohol. So our brain has stopped producing sufficient amounts, so things feel flat. We do believe that the only way we can feel great is through drinking or even feel normal or get great. So doing these activities is like medicine for their brains because they're doing the activities and they're noticing, oh, wow, this feels really good. Look at the colors. Look at, oh, listen to that music. And then they get to wake up the next morning without a hangover. And they're going to do that yoga on the beach or whatever floats their boat. And they're training their brain. Ah, we can do this. This feels good, which then supports the body and the brain as it heals and restores itself to homeostasis. So it's a double shot, right? You're having fun and you're training your brain. You are literally creating new synapses and new neural pathways, new connections in your brain, which over time will become the default. And so can it come with some challenges the first time? It might, or it might not. However, over time, you'll get to where our long-term members are, our beyond 90, our leadership members, where I am today, where alcohol doesn't even enter the conversation. It's not even a question of, whoa, what am I going to do about drinking? I don't drink. And so the default in my brain now is, what am I going to do on my vacation? It's not, am I going to drink? How am I not going to drink? It's like, oh, heck yeah, vacation. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Alcohol hasn't had a vote in a long time. How's that sound? And then how's it sound to come home from a vacation truly vacationed, restored, having had a respite? Not a bad deal. If this sounds like you, if this resonates with you, go ahead and book that discovery call. It's free. You'll talk with one of our fantastic coaches. And let's see what your next vacay can look like, or just next week. Until next time, take good care and have an awesome day. Aloha.